Hello and welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop Streamed, your one stop for co-op news and playthroughs. And today I'm playing through Keyforge Adventures. We're taking on Rise of the Keyracken again, and super excited about this. Obviously, I've been super excited about this game. Keyforge, one of my favorite games of all time. I know it's funny. I am a co-op fan, but I thought I'd show off some other houses. Now, this wasn't on purpose, but this deck does have Brobnar again. Brobnar is pretty good against Keyracken, obviously, with being able to do a lot of damage. But I wanted to show off some of the newer houses also that showed up in Worlds Collide. We got the Saurian, who is the dinosaur race, and Star Alliance, who is the human race. Plus, I want to show off this game solo, and I'm going to play normal mode for the first time. So I haven't played since I streamed with you guys last time, but I did notice I made a few mistakes there, so let me correct those right now. First of all, things that affect key cost do affect the cost of the Keyracken surfacing. So just so you know, if it says +1 key cost, it would be, 3 per player +1. So that does raise the key cost for that as well. The other thing that comes along with that is, I said, and I corrected this early on, but I said that when you took damage, your power decreased. That's not true at all. You still do your full damage worth of power. It just goes away. So if I make any mistakes, turn on the Klingon subtitles, and I will try to correct those in there. But let's get going with Keyforge Adventures. All right, so just in case you don't remember, the Keyracken, we're trying to defeat him. He has power equal to 30 times the number of players, so that's 30 in a solo game. Keyracken deals 3 damage only when fighting, so he does not deal 30, thank goodness. Keyracken gets +2 armor for each unforged key. So that's our point of forging keys. We forge keys as normal, 6 to forge a key, unless he has something that changes that. And then Keyracken is destroyed, the players win, the players lose. Again, if he reaches the surface 4 times on the low tide, he only needs 3 to reach the surface, but we can take an action that costs 2 of our ember to flip this to high tide, and then it costs him 6 to reach the surface. And again, once he reaches the surface 4 times, we lose. All right, let's draw my opening hand. Oh, I gotta sit in a seat. That would help. All right, so drawing 6 cards, and let's see. Ooh, I got a little bit of everything. I got a couple of Brobnar though. Let's see. We got a shorty. Ooh, enrage a creature. Give that creature +1 power counter. That seems pretty good, and it gives us an ember. Play stun each creature with power 3 or lower. I mean, I could play it just to get the ember. Should I do that? Sure. We're gonna hold on to this opening hand. Oh, wait a minute. I also have some of these. Each friendly creature's play effect is a play reap effect. Oh, so you can use it more than once. Exalt a friendly creature. So that's a new keyword. Basically, exalting means put an ember on him, and when it gets destroyed, that ember goes to your opponent. And ready that creature. Oh, so that lets you use a creature a second time, and ward 2 friendly creatures. That's pretty good, but you need creatures in order for that to be good. So let me go ahead and start out with Brobnar this time. I'm going to start out by throwing Shorty in here. He's Assault 4, and Reap also enrages him, which means he's got to attack if he does anything next time. We're going to put this artifact in, which does give me an Ember, and actually let me go ahead and I'm going to make these Ember a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put an Ember over there for me. Bunch of Ember out. All right, and then I'm going to do this. Stun each creature with power 3 or lower. Now, I'll put this artifact over here. Now I am going to play it, but no creature has power 3 or lower, but it does give me another Ember. The reason I want to do that, and I guess I don't have to focus on it early, but I'm going to want to flip this at some point, so I don't mind having some Ember. And that's it. That's my first turn. I'm going to go ahead and draw back up to my hand size of 6. I got another Brobnar, an Alaka, and I got a couple of Star Alliance also. So we'll see where we want to go with our next turn. All right, so the Keyracken is going to go now. The first thing they do is check to see if they can rise to the surface. They cannot because they don't have any Ember. So then we're going to draw 2 cards now in normal mode. All right, that'll give him 1 Ember. We see that. That's the first thing we do when we play a card. Stun and exhaust one of your creatures. if it is that is not already stunned. If all of your creatures are stunned, destroy Whirlpool Eddy and lower the tide. So this is an artifact. So this is going to come in. It doesn't actually do anything because it comes in exhausted. So, oh, by the way, at the end of my turn, I would unexhaust all of my stuff. So that is an artifact that's going to happen every turn until it gets rid of all my stuff. So I might let it go off, killing Shorty. We'll see. Emergence, destroy one of your artifacts and exhaust 3 of your creatures. Well, that gets there, and this gets destroyed. That wasn't great. Oh, and don't forget, had an Ember on it, so got to give him an Ember. So he's 2/3 of the way to getting to the surface for the first time. All right, so that is that. His turn's over. Back to my turn. Well, that may or may not change how I want to do things. Play Fight Reap, you reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. If you do, archive it. Ooh, so that'll let me start archiving stuff. Yes, I am going to do that. So I'm going to place this creature here. Information Officer Gray. Play Fight Reap. I can reveal this, and I'm going to archive it. So just as a reminder for non-Keyforge players, what archive means, it means I put it aside. It still kind of counts as part of my hand. I can pull it up at any point, but it doesn't count as part of my hand size. So archive is really good for like building up. Now I've got a Brobnar card in there. I'm going to want to get some more Brobnar cards in there and then kind of pull them all out at once. But part of the reason I'm doing that also is so I have more of a chance of getting a better Saurian turn in the future. So this is Skirmish. Explorer Rover may be played as an upgrade instead to give a different creature skirmish. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to play it as another creature, and I am good. So do I spend the 2 Ember? Oh, I'm sorry. At the end of my turn, I totally forgot. Keyracken, after I played the 2 cards, Keyracken would have activated when, so at the beginning of the game, all he does is reap. So that does put me in danger now of losing to low tide. So I'm going to do this Omni action. So Omni means you could do it on any player's turn, doesn't matter. Your team loses a total of 2 Ember per player as a group. If you do, raise the tide. So now he needs 6 in order to flip. So that saves me at least a little bit for now. We'll see what happens, but I'm a little behind the curve already on this one. 2 more Star Alliance, another Brobnar. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we do after the enemy does their turn. All right, I'm not playing Brobnar. I know that. So when I have to stun a creature, it'll probably be my Brobnar creature. All right. So first thing we do is check to see if he forges a key or raises to the roof. Raises the roof. Whoop whoop. So no, he does not raise the roof. Come to the surface. In other words, now we play 2 cards and then we play our whole line of cards. All right. We being him. All right. So, Crimson Churning. Deal 1 damage to each of your creatures. If the tide is high, the Keyracken archives a card. So that's not great. So he's going to archive a card and do 1 damage to each of my creatures. Get this a little bigger. I'm going to copy these 2. So, no armor means they just all take a damage, which is not what I wanted to see. And he archived a card. All right, so that's only 1 of his 2 cards. Let's do a second one. The Keyracken gains Reap. Archive an adventure card. So every time he reaps, which is going to be basically every turn at the beginning, after player forges a key, destroy this. So I need to destroy a key, forge a key in a bad way, because he's just going to keep adding extra cards until I do that. So that's his second card that he plays. Then he uses all his creatures first, nothing, then all his artifacts. All right, action. Stun and exhaust 1 of your creatures that is not already stunned. All right, so let's do Shorty. Stun and exhaust. So that's exhausting. Stunning, if you remember, basically that would be their action for the turn, is to, instead of attacking or reaping, would be to get rid of stun. So that's not great. If all of your creatures are stunned, destroy Whirlpool Eddy. So, I mean, I can get rid of this by not putting creatures out, or I could just put a ton of creatures out and hopefully stay ahead of the curve. All right, do I do Star Alliance again? If I do Star Alliance, then you can I can reap with him and with him. I'm not ready to attack yet. I need to. So right now he has 6 armor. I'm definitely not ready to do any damage. I need to get that Keyforged as soon as possible to get rid of this. Oh, I keep forgetting to do this. Before anybody acts, so before his creatures act or before his artifacts act, he would act. So when he acts, he reaps himself. So that gets him a 3rd one. And every time he reaps now, he archives a card. So archiving for them means he's going to have 2 additional cards in addition to the 2 cards I get next turn. So not wonderful is what I'm trying to say here. All right, let's see. I think I'm going back to Star Alliance. I just have too many. All right, play Fight Reap. You may return a non-upgrade or robot from your return an upgrade or robot from your discard pile to your hand. I don't think I have any of that. Now I guess the option would be to use a robot. So I could use this Explorer over here to attack, which doesn't even do anything because he's just going to end up dying. Oh yeah, I got to unexhaust this. Wouldn't do anything, and then I could return it to my hand, so I'm not doing that. That doesn't even make sense. And then here, after you play a creature with a play effect, trigger its play effect an additional time. All right, so that's an always on ability. You see it doesn't say play, fight, reap, anything else, so as long as Science Morpheus Officer's in, then you get to do that. So after you play a creature with a play effect, all right, so I definitely want Morpheus in. So he's coming in first. Then I get to play this Chief Officer Walls, and we get to do his play effect twice. You may return an upgrade or robot from your discard pile to your hand. Well, all right, so the order didn't matter as much as I thought because, let's be honest, I don't have any robots or upgrades in there, so that didn't matter. But I'm going to do this. Explorer Rover is going to reap. So that's going to give me an Ember. Then Information Officer Gray is going to reap. He has a play, fight, reap effect. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. If you do, archive it. Remember, we already have a Brobnar card in our archive, so I'm going to put Narp in there. Ooh, and Narp with his 8 damage is very good. I'm definitely excited to get him in. But let me get that second Ember and keep going. By the way, if anybody has any questions or any comments about Keyforge Adventures, please ask. I've played a lot of Keyforge in my life, but it has been a while. The first time I started playing again is when Keyforge Adventures came out. Ooh, destroy each dinosaur creature and each creature with power 6 or higher. Yeah, not going to do that now, but that might be something to do when they start getting some tentacles out, which, let's be honest, might be in 2 seconds here. All right, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently this time for their turn. Well, first thing, they check to see if they rise. Not quite yet. They're 1 away, though. Then I'm going to add the 2 cards here to this, and then I'm going to flip them 1 at a time. So then we're going to go Keyracken down the line for activating and go from there. All right, so Shield Arm, Taunt. Deal 3 damage to the Keyracken when it's destroyed. So this is a Taunter. And it is the first creature. Now, as a reminder, Taunt does not work for the Keyracken because the Keyracken's not in the battle line for them. So it will taunt. Oh gosh, 6 power, 3 shield though. That's not great. Ooh, another Tentacle Arm. The Keyracken steals 1 Ember from you when it reaps. Oh, by the way, these come in exhausted. And then when it's destroyed, Keyracken takes 3 damage again. This might not be terrible for us, actually. All right, Ascending Jet, action. Give the Keyracken creature with the lowest power 3 +1 counter tokens. If the creature has 9 or more, destroy it. So he's going to boost something up, and then it may destroy itself. So this is an artifact that's in play right now. And then let's see what the last one is. The Evil in the Ranks. So this is an action itself. So play, deal 3 damage to each of your flank creatures. If the tide is high, the Keyracken archives an adventure card. Well, the tide is high, so he is going to archive an adventure card, and then he's going to do 3 to each of my flank creatures. So oh, by the way, all these should be unexhausted at the end of my turn. So unfortunately, both. Oops, that's not where I'm keeping my Ember. I'm keeping it on my this card over here. All right, so both of my flank creatures are going to get killed. Leaves me a little bit smaller battle line over here. I kind of want to go Star Alliance. Keys cost plus during your opponent's next turn. See, that'll increase his key cost by 2. So that's a pretty good idea. But at the same time, I could get rid of his creatures, which might be a better idea. Exalt friendly creature. Each creature play effect, reap effect, destroy dinosaurs. Why did I think I had a creature that said something about creatures with power 3 or less? Oh, that was my Brobnar card I had at the beginning. So I could destroy big creatures now. Unfortunately, there's only 1 of them. We'll see. We'll see. He has Skirmish, which is actually pretty good. All right. Oh, but I can't play Star Alliance and do that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's finish the opponent's turn. I am thinking out loud here. So he is going to reap first. So that'll get him to 6, which unfortunately is enough for that high tide. When he reaps, he does archive a card. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm sure this said archive a card, right? Yes, if the tide is high. All right, then we do this. He's going to exhaust and stun one of my creatures. Which one don't I care about? This one is the one I definitely don't care about. So I have some choices here. Do I go back to Star Alliance and really keep building up this what's the name of this house? I don't know. I don't know why I can't think right now. Or yeah, I think I'm gonna go to why can't I think Saurian? All right. So anyway, they're all done with their turn. I'm gonna unexhaust everything here, and I'm gonna take my turn. This is tough. These are some tough choices. I'm gonna go Saurian. All right, destroy each dinosaur creature and each creature with power 6 or higher. So I'm gonna do that. So I get an Ember for playing that card, and this is a creature with power 6 or higher, gets destroyed, which, as a reminder, does 3 damage to the Keyracken. All right, then I'm gonna put in each friendly creature's play effect is a play reap effect. Now that doesn't make much of a difference because the only play effect I have right now is a play fight reap effect, but never bad to have that. Action, exalt a friendly creature and use that creature. So we will do that. Now again, artifacts come in exhausted, so I cannot do that right now, but just as a reminder, in the future I can exhaust this to exhaust a friendly creature. All right. Or ready a friendly creature, but I do have to put Ember on them, which means if and when they get killed, that Ember goes away. And this one gives me an Ember and lets me ward 2 friendly creatures. And is this just an action? It is just an action. So I get to ward 2 creatures, which means basically they ignore the next damage that comes into them. So let's see, who do I want to ward? I think I want to ward Information Officer Gray, and I want to ward my Compsogis Harspex. Yeah, I know that's completely wrong. But so Saurian's a pretty cool house. It's not only dinosaurs, but it's also like Roman gladiators, dinosaurs. So it's kind of a neat theme to it. So it's one of my favorite houses for theme, for sure. All right, so let's unexhaust. Oops, I don't unexhaust that, and I will draw up to my hand size, so I get to draw 4 cards. And that's one of the coolest mechanics in Keyforge for me, is that you always draw back up to your hand size, so it makes you want to play, houses that, makes you want to clear your hand of stuff, so that way you can draw into houses and have set up bigger turns for the future. So for me, that's one of the highlights of the game. I did Saurian this turn. I didn't have anything ready that I could use. Now remember, I got 2 Brobnar cards here too. Unfortunately, I don't have any Brobnar on the table. So I think I'm going to try to go Star Alliance next turn if I can help it. But we'll see what happens. All right, first thing, they would raise to the surface. If they have, 6 to advance. After the Keyracken advances, lower the tide. So got to deal with this all again. So they do have to spend all 6 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's get all this over there. All right, and then they are going to play their cards next. So they should have 4 here. Oh my gosh, not looking forward to 4 more things. All right, so another tentacle, but again, that comes in exhausted. We got another tentacle. That's not great. I mean, it's great because as I destroy them, I'm going to do damage to him, but all right, so this gives an Ember here, and action, stun and exhaust one of your creatures that is not already stunned. If all of your, so this is another one of those whirlpool. So if all your creatures are, so it's going to be doing 2 of my creatures a turn. Wow. All right. So let's see. Race to the surface. For each time the Keyracken has advanced this game, it archives an adventure card. Draw that many cards. Okay. So it has advanced to the surface once. So first of all, it gets an Ember. Let's not forget that. Oops. That is not the Ember token. Let's give it an Ember because of that in the corner. And then it gets to archive a card. because it has raced to the surface once. And then I get to draw a card, though. So that might help me. It's telling me I should play Bromnar. I'm going to have to see what cards I have for each thing. But first things first, he is going to reap. And when he does that, there's a reap effect on here, which means he gets to archive an adventure card. Wowie, wowie, wowie. The Keyracken steals 1 from you when it reaps. So first thing it's going to do is reap, and then it is going to steal 1 from me. So not only does it get an ember, but I lose an ember. All right, and then this one, stun and exhaust 1 of your creatures that is not already stunned. So let's see. What is the likelihood? I mean, I'm not going to Saurian unless there's like a destroy all creatures. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and stun him, which means the only thing I can do is remove that stun in the future and give Keyracken's creature with the lowest power 3+1 power counters. If this creature has 9 or more power, destroy it. So, I mean, this is the potential reason. Let me look at these. Actually, I don't want to give it to the one that steals. What's this one? If the tide is low, Keyracken archives a card. Well, it probably won't be low, so I don't mind him hanging around. The Keyracken steals 1. So I'm going to not do it with the 2 steals. Plus, this one is elusive anyway. What elusive means is you have to attack it once for no effect, and then you can attack it again doing damage. So I'm going to do that. All right, so I am done with all of that, and it does not have 9 power now. It only has 6, but hopefully I can deal with that next turn. All right, so Keyracken's back up to 5. He would definitely go if the tide stays low, but remember, as an action, I can get rid of 2 Ember to make the tide high, which I guess is what I'm going to have to do this turn. Yeah, so I am going to Star Alliance. I'm going to do this to flip the tide to high. I am going to... Oh, I would not have forged a key. You have to forge a key at the beginning of your turn. I didn't have 6 Ember to do that. So let's see. Play, fight, reap. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. If you do, archive it. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll archive 1 of my Bromnar cards. Berserk Slam seems like as good an option as any because I'm just building it up. Play, fight, reap. Your opponent's keys cost +2 during their next turn. And actually, I don't want him to be a flank creature. So I should have played him first, or her first, but I didn't do that. So it is what it is. She is over here. So his keys are going to cost +2. I'm going to remind myself of that by putting this here. And I know it is a plus power counter and not a plus whatever key cost counter, but it's fine. You do things in games to remind yourself. Now, not only can I play cards from my hand from Star Alliance, but I can do things with cards I have here. So play, fight, reap. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand and put it into your archive. So I'm going to do that when I fight with him because I am fighting one of these tentacles that will keep stealing from me. So I'm going to go ahead and attack. That takes away my ward and it defeats him. So I do 4 damage because my power is 4. He does 3 damage, but that is all absorbed by my ward. And he is defeated. And then destroyed, deal 3 damage to the Keyracken, ignoring armor. So even though he has 6 armor, because I haven't forged any keys, we're going to take away 1, 2, 3. And guess what we're going to do? Skirmish, Explorer over here, is going to attack and defeat this other one that does the same thing. Skirmish, the nice part about that is when you attack with something with Skirmish, you take no damage back when you are attacking. When he is attacked, it doesn't work that way. So Skirmish gets rid of him, and that's 3 more damage to the Keyracken. And I can still play this one. It's Star Alliance, but because it's stunned, the only action it can take is exhausting itself to remove the stun counter. So that's not an attack or a reap, but it's something. All right, so I got a pretty big board of Star Alliance here. Of course, none in my hand because my board is so big. And by the way, the reason I can't play this artifact right here is because it is, I'm not calling Saurian. So if I call Saurian, I can do this action. I can't just play things out of house though. So only play the houses that you called for the turn, unless, of course, there is effects that do tell you otherwise, which there are lots of effects in Star Alliance. So pretty happy with my Star Alliance board right now. I really need to forge a key to get rid of this because he's just getting an extra card every single turn. But let's draw back up to my hand size. All right. Ooh, Medic Ingram is a good one. I'll explain what that is when I play her. But wait a minute. I should have drawn an extra card because I believe I have something that says do your play effect twice. After you play a creature's play with a play effect, trigger its play effect twice. And remember, I played this one. You may reveal a non-Starlines card from your hand, so I could have actually archived my last Brobnar card with that. And this had to play one too. Oh, so key cost is actually +4 this turn. Not that it matters for them, because you do the play effect twice. So now that I am down to 5, I do get to draw an extra. Oh, that's an extra Starlines. Very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Oh, should have unexhausted all of their stuff at the end of their turn. And go from there. All right. So. I am going to... First things first, check to see if they forge. They do not, or raise above the water, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I didn't have to flip this, so I would have had 2 more Ember, but I don't know. I'm not forging a key anytime soon, apparently. Although I would like to. All right, so there's 2 more cards for their cards for the turn. And let's see what it looks like. All right, so first things first, behold its grandeur. Play. So it's an action. The Kraken gains 1 Ember for each creature you control that shares a house with 1 or more of its neighbors, maximum 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yep, it gains 4 Ember. 2, 3, 4, which is not great. Gotta be honest. Not great at all. I'm going to be able to increase its cost by 2, which is something. But yes. Yes. So putting my creatures next to each other on the battle line was apparently not a great idea. Play. If the tide is low, heal 6 damage from the Keyracken. If it's high, you gain 3 chains. So thankfully it's high. I'm going to gain 3 chains, which means my hand size is going to be 5 for the next 3 turns. But that's okay. It is what it is. Let's see what else it gets. All right, another tentacle. Yay. Yay? Is that a yay? I don't think that's a yay. Prey, the most powerful creature. And it has skirmish. So it is going to attack my most powerful creature. And I get to pick which one that is. Yep. So it'll probably be this one who's already stunned. All right, last card. Oh, it comes in exhausted, though. Let's not forget that. So another Ember, which, again, not great. Ward the Keyracken and each of its creatures. No! So that means when the Keyracken would take any amount of damage, so I can attack it, even if it wouldn't have broken its armor, that ward still goes away. Anytime it would take any amount of damage for any reason, it goes away. So I can just kind of throw something at it to sacrifice it. All right, so let's start with the Keyracken. First to go. It's going to get another Ember because it's going to reap itself, and that means because of this card, it archives a card. This one, who is strength or power 6, is going to reap. If the tide is low, the Keyracken archives a card. Thankfully, it is not low, but just going to reap. The benefit of its more power is that it is harder to kill. The not benefit for me, trust me. All right, stun and exhaust one of your creatures. If that is not already stunned. If all of your creatures are stunned, destroy Whirlpool Eddy. All right. So, stun and exhaust. Probably going... Let's do that one, and then give the Keyracken creature with the lowest power 3+1 power counters. Unfortunately, doesn't get it to 6. I was kind of hoping it would, but nope, that's not going to happen. And this one's going to start fighting me, which is great. Exhaust and stun one of your creatures, which is awesome. Love exhausting and stunning one of my creatures. Let's see. Keys cost +2. I definitely want to keep in play. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. Maybe. Skirmish is good, but I mean, it's good for destroying these, but at this point, I guess it doesn't matter. All right. Yeah, things are not going according to plan. Unless I get some really cool stuff, I am feeling like I am in trouble. All right, so let's unexhaust everything that they have, and it will be my turn. Oops. I guess I could unexhaust that. Why not? I unexhausted at the beginning of the turn anyway. All right, So let's see. I mean, I could play a lot of Brobnar. I could go back to Star Alliance and get rid of these stun tokens, which might not be a bad move. Let's see what I have. Cloaking Dongle, which means, I get elusive, which means this attacking me wouldn't really do anything. So that's not a bad idea. And then Medic Ingram, you may heal 3 damage from a creature and ward it, which is pretty good too. Unfortunately, it doesn't get rid of the stun. Am I going Star Alliance again? You know, I guess I am. Alright, so we'll go Star Alliance again. We'll put Cloaking Dongle on over here. So first things first, let's not forget to get my Ember for doing that. Then I am going to, oh, they're exhausted, so I can't even get rid of the stun counters. So you're elusive, and each of its neighbors are elusive. So no matter who this would attack, it doesn't matter. It's going to attack something that's elusive. All right, Medic Ingram. I'm going to bring Medic Ingram in. And he's going to heal 3 from Information Officer Gray and go ahead and ward Information Officer Gray. I mean, do I just reap 3 times and get to the point where... I mean, I gotta forge a key to get rid of this, right? I also need to get rid of these creatures, but I feel like that's not happening this turn anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to reap and reap. So for each of those, I get to archive a card from my hand. Now, I am obviously putting Saurian in there as well, but again, the least cards I have in my hand, the more I get to draw. So when I pull the archives, I can unfortunately not pick which ones I take. I have to take them all, but that's okay. All right, so I put 2 more in for those effects, and I'm going to do this, which increases the key cost by 2. And so that is 1, 2, 3 reaps this turn, and I'm going to get 3 Ember. Boink, boink, boink. I am 1 away from forging a key. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do about it right now. All right, so that is the end of my turn. Let's go ahead and ready everything up. Now, because I have a chain, I only draw up to 5 cards. So I have 2 in my hand. That means I get to draw 3 more. And then I lose one of the chains on here, which means I have 2 more turns of dealing with that. Red Alert. There are definitely not more enemy creatures than friendly creatures on the board. Red Alert would do a bunch of damage if there was. So maybe it will be time to do Brobnar, because this will give me a ton of Ember, and it'll get me a ton of creatures on the board. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Although these things ain't never going away. But my Star Alliance is always going to be there. All right, so first things first. When it becomes their turn, he is going to rise to the surface. So that requires 6 plus 2, and then we flip this back over. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right now, if I don't flip this, they're already able to rise to the surface again. Remember, if they rise 4 times, I lose. They've already risen twice. So not wonderful for me. All right, so I'm going to add 2 more cards to their deck of bad stuff, and let's see what happens. Devour Whole. For the remainder of the turn, the Keyracken gains Skirmish and Prey, the least powerful creature. It fights, then readies. It will fight again. All right, so this is an action that it does right now. So it's going to Prey, which means attack the least powerful creature. All right, now remember all of these are elusive, but this one is not, and this is the least powerful creature. So you just got eaten, Science Officer Morpheus. I hardly knew ye. All right, so that is that, and then he is going to attack again at the end of the turn. So I just got to remember that, which means this reap effect doesn't go off. So I got that going for me. All right, Preternatural will play. So it's an action again. If the tide is low, heal 6 damage from the Keyracken. If the tide is high, you gain 3 chains. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to change the tide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not great. Almost back to the starting health. The Keyracken gains Reap, archive an adventure card. After you forge a key, all right. So now he has 2 of those. So he's going to be reaping to gain, put 2 cards here a turn. I need to stop that as quickly as possible. I need to forge a key, but of course I also need to flip this. So let's see if I can do both in the same turn. I think I might be able to. Well, I won't forge a key next turn, but the following turn I think I'll be able to do it. So I'll only have to deal with that for 1 more turn. So first things first, the Keyracken would normally reap, but not going to reap in this situation. It is going to attack the creature with the lowest health, which I'm going to choose this one here. Now remember, the Keyracken only does 3 damage, but it does 3 damage. Now, it just attacked. Oh, it gets skirmish also with that card, I'm pretty sure, which means I don't get to attack back. Yes, skirmish and prey. Yep. All right. So there goes that creature. Alrighty. So I am done with all of that. And so we go on to his other creatures. So again, thankfully, I don't have to add 2 cards. Elusive Reap. If the tide is low, Keyracken, Archives, and Adventure card. All right. So not only is he reaping, but he's archiving a card. Prey, the most powerful creature. Skirmish. So he's going to attack my most powerful creature, who is elusive, and that's fine. Doesn't do anything, thankfully. All right. Now we go over here. Stun and exhaust one of your creatures. If it's not already stunned, or all of your creatures are stunned, destroy the whirlpool. All right. So he's going to stun and exhaust. I mean, we will just do an information officer. I think I'm going to pull these archives up soon anyway. All right. Gives the least powerful creature +3 power counters, and destroy Ascending Jet if it has 9 or more. So yes, the least powerful creature, they're actually both the same. They're both at 6. So this is going to go up to 3 more. So that's 6. So that's 9. And then this destroys itself. So, and then we get to exhaust and stun another one of my things. So another information officer getting stunned and exhausted. And we are going to keep going from there. This is not pretty on my side of the board for sure. So let's see if we can do some Brobnari things to fix that. All right, I think it's about that time. I'm going to pull up my archives. So I'm going to draw all 7 of these cards. So that's the nice part about archiving. And I am going to call Brobnar. I got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to, we'll talk through order of operations as I look through the cards myself. All right, so Shorty, doesn't matter. Assault, which is great, does 4 damage before the attack, and then attacks for 4. Gain 2 Ember if you control more creatures than your opponent. Well, clearly I do already, because I control all these creatures, and he only controls 2. The Keyracken, by the way, does not count as a creature. He's a Keyracken. If you look under his name, the Keyracken, it says Keyracken. If you look under, Slippery Arm, it says creature. So that is, Keyracken is not a creature, so I do own. Even still, I would have controlled more. If you've used a creature to fight this turn, Alaka enters play ready. Unfortunately, not going to happen. Narp and its neighbors cannot reap, so want to put it next to something that doesn't care about reaping. Play, deal 4 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys a creature, its controller loses an Ember. That would have been nice, although it's 1 away if I flip this over. So it's okay. Oh, and I get to do that effect twice, because I think, have that character who lets know I killed it. It got killed. Oh, wait. Friendly play effect is a play reap effect. Oh, but that's good. That means every time I reap, I can do that. Ready and fight with a neighboring giant. Ooh, War Grumpus lets me, whenever I fight or reap with it, though, not just out of nowhere. So, and then another Shorty, and then Berserker Slam. Deal 4 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys a creature, its control. Oh, this is an action anyway. It's not a play effect. What am I looking at? All right, so I want Narp at the end, right next to my War Grumpus, which lets me ready and fight with a neighboring giant. Oh, but then he won't be able to reap. He'll have to fight. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Maybe I'll put him next to Shorty. And yeah, I'll just do it to my shorties. Okay. All right. So order of operations doesn't matter as much this time. I'm going to go ahead and start with Alaka. If you've used a creature to fight this turn, he comes in play ready. Well, I don't have any other creatures, so no. Then I'm going to do my War Grumpus. Unfortunately, nothing. And I am going to move all this stuff down. Get out of here, counters. So if you have any questions, again, about Adventure Mode or about Keyforge or Keyforge Adventures, please feel free to ask. I would love to answer your questions. And we just put up a podcast today with an interview with Tyler, who is the lead designer on this adventure, the Keyracken, Rise of the Keyracken adventure. So I got 2 shorties coming out. We're going to put Narp next to the last shorty. So Narp, again, his neighbors can't reap, but that's okay. Deal 4 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys a creature, its controller gains an ember. Well, I do get an ember just for playing this card. If you notice on here, there's an ember. So let's start with that. And then I get to do 4 damage to a flank creature. We're going to do it to this one because this is the one I want destroyed eventually. Now, it didn't destroy it, so unfortunately, the controller does not do that. So I gain an ember for playing this. Gain 2 ember if you control more creatures than your opponent. So not only do I get an ember for playing it, but then I get 2 more ember for having more creatures. I'm pretty sure at this point that I have more creatures than them. And then I am going to spend 2 of this ember, so delete, to flip the tide. And that way they're not going to forge immediately. This is gone. He's not +2 to forging right now, but I'll just keep it off to the side there just in case, just to have it. Good to have. All right, well, we'll set it to whatever. All right, doesn't matter. It is the end of my turn, so I have 5 cards in hand. If I had a 6 card in hand, my chain, yes, if I had a 6 card in hand, my chains would not have gone down because you don't discard down to hand size. So my hand size is now 5, but because it's preventing me from drawing that 6 card, I do lose the chain. So we'll move my chain tracker down 1, and then we are going to ready all of this stuff. Oops. Yeah, I mean, having less creatures would have been good early to get rid of at least one of these, and then I'd only be dealing with 1 a turn, but I wasn't that smart. So first things first, they check to see if he raises. And he does not. Then we're going to add 2 cards to this, and we're going to get ready to play him. So first card, it's a Crushing Arm! Prey the least powerful flank creature. All right, comes in exhausted though. So remember, we do all creatures before we do artifacts. So I'm just keeping the artifacts off to the right here. Alrighty. Preternatural Will. If the tide is low, heal 6 damage from the Keyracken. If the tide is high, you gain 3 chains. Oh, so I go from 1 chain to 4 chains. That's 3 more chains for me. All right, let's see what the last one is. Although, honestly, it's better than putting something out that's permanent, I think. So Zealot's Revelation, shuffle the adventure discard pile into the adventure deck. So that's this. We're going to shuffle it into the deck. Then the Keyracken archives 3 adventure cards. If the tide is high, you may lower the tide instead. So I could lower the tide, which means I could put it back up next turn. So you know what? I am going to do that because they're past the point of the game where they could do something about that. And then I'm going to shuffle this. Now, I'm not sure. I guess this gets shuffled in as well. All right. So first things first, they are going to get an ember. Oops. I don't want that tiny ember. Get out of here. I will get a new ember. When he reaps, we do archive 2 cards. Then I am going to, one at a time. So Elusive, when he reaps, if the tide is low, the Keyracken archives an adventure card. Oh, forgot about that. But you know what? It would have archived 3. Yeah, I still think it's worth it. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm in a bad way. He's raised 2 times. If he raises 4, I immediately lose. So this is going to Prey, the most powerful creature. And it has Skirmish. So it's not... Wait. The most powerful creature. Oh, which is Narp. So... he's going to do 6 damage to Narp. No, Narp! No! So that would get me to 6 damage on Narp. And unfortunately Skirmish, so I don't even get to attack back. Prey, the least powerful flank creature. Yeah, so that's going to be this one over here. And it does not, this one doesn't have Skirmish. So the least powerful is going to be this Senior Chief Garcia. So Senior Chief Garcia is defeated, but 3 damage does get put back because, again, this one does not say it has Skirmish. So got that going for me. It's something at least. All right, now I got to stun and exhaust one of my creatures. All right, and then stun and exhaust another creature. Well, clearly we're going to do here. Oops. And probably Alaka too. Yeah. All right. So, back to me. I got some good news. Some good news in this dark time that I'm facing of stunned creatures. My good news is, and 3 archive cards that are going to get 2 more next turn, and 3 nasty creatures, and they're going to raise the surface to second to last time. There's a lot of bad stuff going on, but I have one piece of good news. I finally get to forge my first key. And by doing so, whenever you forge a key, these go away. After a player forges a key, destroy this card. All right, so goodbye. And the good news is I just got the shuffle card, so hopefully I don't get it again. Now I only have 1 Ember. I'd like a second one to flip this, obviously, just to increase their key cost, if nothing else. All right, so I am going to call, I think I'm calling Brobnar. I just got to do some damage while I can. So, how are we going to do this? This creature's elusive, so I'm going to attack it with Shorty. What that means is Assault does this 4 damage before the attack, so this creature is going to take 4 damage. So, let's flip this over and put this up to 4 damage. Now, my attack, I don't get to attack, but because it's elusive. But, so it doesn't damage me, I don't damage it. So the attack still goes off, but I don't do any damage. But that Assault does do damage. All right, now my War Grumpus is going to... What are you going to do, War Grumpus? What are you going to do? So the problem is, if I fight with War Grumpus, I won't be able to ready and fight with a neighboring giant because you have to survive the fight in order to get your fight effects. So I am going to Reap to get my second Ember. And actually, before I forget, I'm just going to spend that 2 Ember to raise the tide. That readies and lets me attack with Shorty. Shorty is going to attack the same character and get rid of... Oh. Do I want to do that first? No. Shorty is going to attack the Keyracken. So what that does is get rid of this token right here. Because it would be 4 damage. Well, a total of 8 damage. He has only 4 armor right now, actually, because it's +2 per unforged key. So right now he has 4 armor. I get rid of all 4 armor with my Assault. Oh no, with my Assault I get rid of the token, then I get rid of the 4 armor with the normal attack. Now I do take 3 damage in response, so I got that going for me. All right. So, Shorty has 3 damage. But the Keyracken has no armor currently, which might be a good thing for me if I play my cards right. So, no matter what Narp attacks... Oh! Narp has an armor. So, Narp only has 5 damage on him. So, if Narp attacks something that does 3 or less damage... Now, this thing does 6 damage. So, wait a minute. Oh, but that damage was done through an Assault. So nothing happened there. All right, so I'm going to Assault it again. So again, 4 damage. So it goes up to 8. It only has 6 life. The Assault happens before it gets to attack me. So this creature is defeated before it got to counterattack. When a creature is defeated, you take 3 off of the Keyracken. All right. I think Narp's going in for the kill here. So Narp is going to attack the Keyracken. The Keyracken has no armor currently, so Narp's 8 damage all goes right on the Keyracken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The way armor works is armor does not come back. Just as a point of reference. And actually I could put 4 armor here just so we know he has some armor. It doesn't come back for the rest of my activation. So that armor is completely gone for my activation. Now Narp, the reason he only took 5 damage before, he had that 1 armor. His armor is going to kick in again. The Keyracken only does 3 damage, so that means only 2 damage gets through, which means Narp is up to 7 damage on him, which seems good, at least because I have a feeling this Lashing Tentacle is going to kill him in 2 seconds. I don't have a feeling. I know it for a fact, but that's okay. Unfortunately, because I did Brobnar and I had no Brobnar in my hand, I'm not going to get to draw any cards, but I think that was probably worthwhile turn. Look, I'm in a bad way. It doesn't really matter. Ooh, exalt a friendly creature and use that creature. It does not say it has to be in house. So something to consider here is, yeah, if I decide, because I got a lot of Saurian in my hand, if I decide to go Saurian, it will let me use one creature out of house at least anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and do the Keyracken's turn. And we are going to first spend 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to flip this over, and he is going to go to the surface for the 3rd time. Then we are going to, he's got 3 cards. He's going to get 2 more cards. So that is 5 cards. And again, just a reminder in the chat, it's been pretty quiet today. Go ahead and ask any questions you have. I'd love to answer them about either Keyforge or Keyforge Adventures. So first things first, they did that. Then he is going to devour whole. For the remainder of the turn, the Keyracken gains skirmish. Prey, the least powerful creature. It fights and then readies. So it's going to fight right now and ready the least powerful creature, which will be... You know what? Maybe I start getting rid of my Brobnar, and that'll get rid of these things. All right, so it's going to attack my War Grumpus. Goodbye, War Grumpus. I don't know that I am going to be able to keep up this killing my stuff, but it's going to attack the least powerful thing again, which will be, unfortunately, my Medic Ingram next. So it still does have one more attack. Let's see. The evil in the ranks. Play. Deal 3 damage to each of your flank creatures. If the tide is high, the Keyracken archives an adventure card. Which the tide is not high because, so it does what? 3 damage, did it just say? To each of my flank creatures. Alright, well, Narp, you are no longer alive with 3 damage. And then there's 3 over there. So now Narp is no longer part of the picture. Let's keep going. Shield Arm is taunted. So there you go. We got some taunting creatures over here with 6 health and 3 armor. Not making me happy. Oops. Well, we'll go ahead and go from the bottom. A Lashing Tentacle, Prey, the most powerful creature. And unfortunately, it is protected by this shield arm here. And Devour Whole. For the remainder of the turn, the Keyracken gains Skirmish. Prey, the least powerful creature. Fights, then readies. Alright, so it's going to fight and then ready again. Least powerful creature will be Chief Medic Ingram. Goodbye, Chief Medic Ingram. Alright, so there's bad news and there's good news. Mostly bad news. Yep, I'm not going to have a whole lot after this turn, but I think both of these are going to go away. We'll see. Lashing Tentacle, Prey, the most powerful creature, Skirmish. I am going to, normally, again, I would choose one of the things that's elusive, but for now, I want to get rid of one more creature, so we will have him get rid of a shorty. And do that. Now, they have not reaped at all, so that's the good news here. We'll have the one bright spot in all of this. And then Prey, the least powerful flank creature. Alright, so that would be this one or this one. They're both 4. I'm going to have them attack this one here, which is elusive, so I'm good. So that does nothing. Hey, for the first time ever, it does nothing. Alright, stun and exhaust one of your creatures that is not already stunned. So there we go. Stun and exhaust. The only one that is not stunned. If all of your creatures are stunned, destroy Whirlpool Eddy and lower the tide. So you go in order. So first you stun and exhaust a creature. Then if all your creatures are stunned, you destroy Whirlpool Eddy and lower the tide. So we're going to do that. Hey, guess what? It's already low tide. Guess what? This is the exact same card. It's also going to do that. So, alright. Whew. A little bit of a breath. But, I mean, we're talking about... actually, he's down to 16 life. There's a chance here. There's a chance. Not much of a chance. He only got to go up one more time. And he's got all these creatures. But we'll see. And I'm going to have to call... I think I'm going to have to call... I'm going to have to call Saurian. Sorry, I don't know why Saurian does not stick in my mind. Location. So we're going to put this in play. It lets me move from a friendly creature in my pool Unfortunately, that's not as useful right now. Each of your other friendly creatures gains destroyed. Move each ember on this creature to the common supply. That is amazing. So when a creature is destroyed that has ember on it, it's really good for dinosaurs because dinosaurs like to put ember on themselves. You know what? I did not lower this at the end of my last turn, so that's down to 3. All right. You may spend ember on him as if he were in your as if it were in your pool. Play Reap. You may exalt him. So I'm going to put him in. And you bet your sweet butt I'm going to exalt him. So that counts as if it's in my pool now. And then Centurion Stena gets +3 power for each ember on it. That seems pretty good. Play Fight Reap. You may exalt him. Yes, please. So I'm going to exalt him, which again means putting ember on it. And that's why this creature is good, because it lets me put that into my... Now, wait a minute. Did this thing attack something? The least powerful flank creature is... yes. So it does not have armor, I don't believe. So it should have actually taken damage from attacking my least powerful flank creature, which I believe had 4 damage on it. If I am... Not... Oh, no. It attacked a skirmishy creature. Sorry, not a skirmishy, an elusive creature. That's right. So nothing. All right, and then I'm going to do this. Exalt a friendly creature and ready and use that creature. I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, this is taunting, unfortunately. So what I could do is put him up to 9. Yeah, so I'm going to do this to exalt a friendly creature. Ready and use that creature. So I'm going to go ahead and exalt over here. And now I get to ready and use that creature. I am going to use this creature to attack. And then play Fight Reap. You may exalt him. But that's, again, after I fight. So right now he's +6 because he's got 2 counters on there. So he is +6. So he is 9 power right now. I'm going right after the Keyracken. Don't see anybody else I'd rather attack. So that's 9 on the Keyracken, 4 armor. So that means 5 gets through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets through. Keyracken does 3 damage back. I do have 2 armor. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's ridiculous. Wow. All right, that is a little broken. And he gets, after he fights, he gets another counter. So right now he's +9 power. I'm just gonna put this here as a reminder. +9 power, and then, oh my gosh, I can keep doing this and keep... All right, so what you're saying is I got a chance, and in fact, a very good chance. I think I'm going to survive, and I think I'm going to win, and that will be amazing. So I just got to survive a pretty terrible turn from him. Oh, actually, it's just a normal turn with a lot of creatures, though. All right, so that is the end of my turn. I am down to 1 card in my hand, so I do get to draw 4 more. I get to reduce my amount of chains by 1. And unfortunately, I don't have any Saurian, but that is okay because I feel like the Centaur is going to be enough. Hopefully. We'll see what happens here. Oh, I'm not +3. I am +9. And I'm going to need another counter because each of these counters only goes up to +9. I'm feeling pretty good about that. All right, so first things first, he would rise to the surface for his 4th time, but does not because he doesn't have 2 Ember, thankfully. I'm going to draw 2 cards. So the first one is Ascending Jet. Action. Give the Keyracken's creature with the lowest... Okay, so this is an artifact. I'm not going to do anything with it. It comes into play exhausted. Not doing anything with it right now. Titanic Maw. The Keyracken gains Skirmish. Okay, so Keyracken is done messing around. He is no longer going to reap for Ember every turn. What he is going to do instead is he's going to just come after me with this Titanic Maw. So he gains Skirmish, prey the most powerful creature. He's going to go after my most powerful creature with Skirmish, meaning doesn't take damage back, and fight. Deal 3 damage to each neighbor of the creature the Keyracken fights. At the end of the Keyracken's turn, if you control no creatures, destroy the Titanic Maw. So if I don't control any creatures, I would destroy this. So he ain't messing around no more. He's coming after me. All right, so he attacks with Skirmish, my most powerful creature, doing 3 damage. So that would be 3 here. Well, guess what? I got 2 armor, so that goes up to 1. Now my armor is gone for this turn only. And then splashes 3 damage to his neighbor. His neighbor does have armor as well. So going to take 2 damage over here. All right. Then let's just go one by one through all these other ones. Lashing the most powerful creature with skirmish. So that's going to be 3 more damage. Now, unfortunately, my armor is already broken for now, so I'm up to 5. Now, I have 12 life, basically, because your power is not only the damage you do, but it's also your life. So I do have 12 life, but I'm getting a little bit worried. All right, Prey, the least powerful flank creature. All right, so that's going to be this one. But again, this one is elusive because of my cloaking dongle, so nothing. This one is just a taunter, so if he doesn't have a prey keyword, that means they reap. So right now, I am not in danger yet of losing, and then Prey, the most powerful creature with skirmish. So again, attacking here for 3, and my shield is already gone, so I am up to 8 damage of my 12, so that's fine. And that is it for the enemy turn. All right, here we go. Last turn of the game, I believe. So I am going to House Saurian. And you know what? Let's do this. Move Amber from a friendly creature to your pool. I will go ahead and move that to my pool. May spend Amber on it. Play Reap. You may exalt him. So I'm going to go ahead and Reap with him. So there's 1, there's 1. Now this still isn't going off yet, so I don't need to worry about that Ember there right now. So I'm not going to. Unfortunately, I can't pull him, spend it, pull it. Oh, I could spend it because he's, well, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter anyway. So let's keep going. All right, let's just do the move that is going to matter. All right, the Centurion is going to attack. The Centurion attacks with 12 power. Minus this 4 armor. That means 8 damage goes through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damage goes through. Now, because of that, I get to exalt him because I survived that. Oh, I do take 3 damage first. Sorry. So 3 damage. I do have 2 armor. So I'm up to 9 damage on me out of the 12 life I have. When I do that, I'm actually going to get 3 more power. So I'm plus 12, so I'm up to 15 power. Guess what I have over here? Action, exalt a friendly creature, ready and use that creature. So I'm going to do that. Putting another Ember on him, making this 6. So my Centurion, I guess I should learn how to pronounce his name since he's Centurion Kickbutt. Stenophius. Ah, Centurion Stenophius. All right, thank you, Stenophius. I'm going to attack with him, which is 9 plus 9 is 18 damage right to the Keyracken's face, and that will defeat the Keyracken. Yes. Overly defeat the Keyracken, and guess what? Then I get to exalt him again, making this up to 9, and I still got Prefectus Ludo over here, who will throw in another 5 damage because it's fun. And I like to do that, and I like to overkill like crazy, and you are now done. So, there you go. My first time playing the solo version of Dark Tidings, not Dark Tidings, of the Rise of the Keyracken adventure, and it's a win. And my first time playing normal mode as well. I had only played with my son Nick. You probably saw it on the stream yesterday, playing 2-player. Had a lot of fun with that. Had a lot of fun with this as well. I mean, I played every deck with Brobnar so far. Now, Brobnar wasn't the key factor here, but it was a pretty big factor. Somebody with a lot of life, Brobnar is going to be real good against. I don't think I've ever forged more than 1 key. So what I may have to do is get one of my more Keyforge decks that doesn't have as powerful creatures and see if they even have a chance here at defeating the Keyracken. Because I feel like it would be a lot harder. I've taken Brobnari decks, attacky decks so far. I am not going to do that next time I play on the stream. So initial impressions of solo is I think it's great. Obviously, as you saw, there's a very big challenge there. As you're drawing 2 cards a turn, it definitely increased the challenge in a nice way, the way I'd want it to. Now, again, I haven't played solo at the easier level. There is ways to even increase the difficulty level where you're drawing 3 cards a turn, right? And also just picking decks that aren't going to be as strong against the Keyracken as well. I I mean, I think you could do things like give yourself chains at the beginning of the game if you want to give yourself more of a handicap. If you want like a between level difficulty, there's a lot of things you can do to change difficulty in this game, and that's fun. So let me know in the comments what you all think of the solo mode so far, or not solo co-op mode, the Keyforge Adventures. I am enjoying it so far. Now, it's still very new to me, and I've only played with 3 different decks against it. I've got plenty of decks, hundreds of decks over here. And there's all the free ones that are available at on Fantasy Flight's website. So you can not only get this adventure for free, but you can get more decks for free as well. And we can try some of those against the Keyracken. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I am so happy they came out with the solo mode. It's my son's favorite way to play now, and he and I love Keyforge already. My daughter said she's excited to play and try it. So I don't know. I'm really excited by this. I am really happy they did this, and it turned out really well. Now, what am I looking for in the future? I can't wait for the other adventure. I'm hoping the other adventure turns things on its head a little bit and makes it a little bit more Keyforginess, like you're trying to forge keys. And then I'm going to try to take a deck and beat both back to back and kind of like run the gauntlet, try to do both of them with the deck that hopefully can handle both of those challenges, both needing a lot of damage challenge and needing a lot of reaping benefits. So I don't know. I've had a lot of fun with Keyforge Adventures. Hopefully you do too. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm really good about answering them. If you saw any rules mistakes, let me know. And then look under Klingon subtitles. I'll put them up there with any rules corrections or any mistakes I made. Hopefully not, because I barely won. So if there's any mistakes I made not in my favor, that means I probably didn't win. But we're not going to think that way. We're going to think I won right now. So I'm really enjoying it, having a lot of fun, and can't wait to play more Keyforge Adventures. All right, if there's any other challenges you want to see me do, we've done 2-player, we've done 1-player now. If you want me to see me do 3-player, certainly can do that. Just let me know, and I will try to accommodate. You know, we're very accommodating here. And next time, I want to hear more from the chat, too. So I know there's people out there. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, great talking to you, and keep forging those keys, and I will see you soon. Bye!